Yo, what's good? It's the Players Lounge. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast. We back at you for the second time today, but this time we got the players themselves, my former teammates, the man with the plan, CJ Procise, and of course, we got the one and only Mega Man, Jerron
Hey, yo,
Jones,
chill.
back in the building. Listen, guys, it's a players only type of day. You know, we spin it different over here on the Lucky Lefty podcast. But thank you guys, first of all, for coming out, man. It's been a long season. Notre Dame ended the season at 8-4. We didn't get it done versus SC, but Marcus Freeman's first year, feel pretty good about it. But first, we want to go back over that SC recap. Tell me, what were your thoughts on the game? I know we didn't come out with the dub, but SC looked nice this year.
Man, yeah. No, Caleb Williams definitely showed me. I didn't think he was that nice, man. Then he that boy.
What? You didn't think he was that nice? He just put up 500 yards versus UCLA.
I mean, I'm thinking like I'm like it's Pac-12, so I'm like you could do that against Pac-12 any weekend, but like you playing against Notre Dame, we actually got some defense, so I'm thinking we're gonna put at least like contain him, man. That dude looking like he was like Pat Mahomes out there, like where he was moving.
Yeah, they just wasn't finishing plays. Then the fact that they was like literally out there the whole first half, so they wore it down in the second half. You see it by the running back was running it in the second half because he was getting some big gains. But also I just feel like our offense. I felt like we should have went with number 7 first to get carries first because he's been the one that's been going off for our rushing attack. I feel like he should have got a bulk load of the carries. I mean, that's just my opinion. But our O-line, I think our O-line did pretty well. I think they did really well actually. Our defense, our D-line played pretty physical to start. Obviously, we had to finish those tackles and finish those plays. Where Caleb Williams just looking like Pat Mahomes out there pretty much.
Now you guys have played or at least was around in the game in 2012 when we needed to beat SC to get to the championship, which we did against Bama. Did you see any of that kind of comparison from last night's game and how that SC team was to the USC team that y'all played in 12 that y'all needed to win?
Nah. I mean, I just think like, the team, we made those plays to win the game. Like, the Saturday we didn't make those plays to win the game. So, when we fumbled that ball at the half. It's like it was a 14-point swing. Instead, we was about to go score, and instead it goes 24-7. Instead, we could have scored on that drive. So, just little stuff like that. And then and with SC, they offense was good, man. We just had to, and we couldn't make no mistakes on offense, and we made too many. We made too many on offense, and we had to score. We had to score to keep up with them, and we just couldn't.
Yeah, too many guys were aborting their responsibilities when he was scrambling. So, it opened up for a lot of downfield throws. I feel like a lot of his explosive plays came off of that because off of his scrambling created those explosive plays. Again, I feel like we were stronger than them at the point of attack. I just feel like we wore out because obviously we were on the field for way too long in the first half. I think our offense only had 3 possessions. And that's when the Russian attack started to go off. But like, I really, again, felt like we were the better team. I thought we were going to come out there and mangle those guys. You know what I'm saying? I felt like we were the more physical team. If you really look at the stats, like USC probably only had like maybe like 30, 45 more yards than us, like total offense. So like, again, like I really felt like for as bad as our offense played, especially with those turnovers and those missed opportunities on those 3rd and shorts. I think we had like 2 3rd and shorts stopped and then 4th and 1 stopped as well. I feel like you keep those drives going, it gives our defense a break, and if we convert that into points, I felt like we could have been the team to wear USC down, but I think our turnovers is what held us back, and missing tackles and whatnot.
Yeah, big games, you definitely can't turn the football over, especially when you got a guy over there that's something like an X factor, getting the crowd hype, making big plays. Players Lounge, we also have the one and only Oscar McBride joining us. Thank you so much for coming on, man. We just recapping the USC game. What are your thoughts on how we looked? And I know we didn't finish how we wanted to, but damn it felt like we should have won.
You know what? I have to agree. I feel like for me coming into that game, I thought we were just going to just ground and pound. It's not uncommon for USC to have athletes. I mean, they always have athletes, right? But I mean, they play a different brand of football than we play. We're in the Midwest. We play in cold weather. We play in snow. Like, we're battle tested. A lot of our schedule is a Big Ten schedule, ACC schedule. No knock on the Pac-12, but they're not the most physical guys in the country. So my money was on putting a hand in the dirt, white knuckling it, and running down their throat. What I mean? That's what I thought we were going to do. And, to echo the last point, like, yeah, they're an explosive offense. Well, what's the best way to slow down a potent offense? Not give them the ball, right? Yeah. Like, control the offense, control the line of scrimmage, put yourselves in third and short situations where it's manageable, and run the football. And I feel like I don't know if we stayed with it enough. You know what I mean? Just downhill, zone. Our backs are explosive, great vision. Just put a hat on a hat and let them do what they do. You know what I mean? And I feel like we didn't do enough of that. I feel like we could do a little bit more of that earlier in the game to establish the line of scrimmage.
Now, we also see on the offensive side of the ball, it's almost like you're leaving the field wanting more. In the Ohio State game, we left the field wanting a lot more because we saw the potential of the points of what the running the football could do, but also what passing could have done in a game to give us some better situations on the scoreboard. But do you guys feel like there is some X factor or something else we may need on the offensive side, just like SC had on their offensive end where they had firepower? Do you think we have enough firepower offensively to even be in these games, especially coming for the years after and years to come?
I mean, no, we definitely, especially the running back position, it's pretty solid, for the next coming years. But, receivers, we got some young receivers, but I think the development of the receivers is going to be very key. I think that's going to be a very key, key factor going forward. And then also a guy at quarterback. I mean, that's just the main thing. We just need a guy.
100%. 100%.
A solid guy. It doesn't have to be like we don't need a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud or none of the top. We don't need no top.
That'd be all right, though. That'd be all right.
That'd be cool.
We should. Why not? We know today. We should.
About that. But give us a guy who can manage it and who can not just keep us in it. Because even the game on Saturday, Drew Pine did not play a terrible game. He played pretty well. Like, I think he played a pretty well game other than the 2 turnovers. But if you can have a guy who can consistently play that well, just consistently play like that. I mean, I'm not asking him to go 13 for 15 every game, but just managing the game and not losing it for us. That's a guy we need. And then developing the receivers as well.
To echo that point, I would also say we need a guy who's a bit of a threat to run the rock too.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Caleb Williams had 3 touchdowns running the football.
Man, you know what I mean? Running around highlight sticking people. Like, maybe we don't need a Lamar Jackson, but I feel like at least if he's a threat to run the football, that at least gives our running backs a chance. Getting in behind the line, creasing that thing, pressing the A gap, then bouncing it outside. If he's just handing it off and watching the play, that's not making the defense really honor anything. Exactly. And I don't know that we run a lot of RPOs or RPRs anyway. So it's like we need to have that additional threat. Like, when Lefty was playing, we knew something was going to shake, whether it was going to be down the field or he was going to do it with his legs. You had to plan for number 7. I mean, you had to. I mean, if you didn't, it was going to be a problem for you. So I feel like we don't have that element of threat at the quarterback position. You know what I mean?
We definitely don't.
And you're looking around all the college football teams that are winning, and all of them got threats at the quarterback position.
I mean, that's it. It's just any level, it's going to be you got to have that guy at quarterback. I mean, that's just. It's kind of how it is for real.
Yeah, but just thinking about how dominant our O-line can be and how physically imposing it can be, and adding just that extra blocker with the running back. and having the quarterback follow behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Especially if we go strong side, weak side, we're always up on numbers because we have an additional blocker.
Yep. Especially when you have tight ends. Like I'm gonna give my boy some love, man.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I mean, I love Michael Mayer. Like the dude is a monster, but like you can't run your entire offense through a tight end. We need, to your point earlier, we need a receiver that can take the top off the defense, right?
Yeah.
But give me somebody that's going to stretch the field, and let Mike, work underneath, work on those linebackers because they can't cover him. He's just too much.
Yeah, but also I think if we threw a couple jump balls and got that ball in the air, I just think he just didn't throw it. He refused to. How many
He
shots
just
did we take
refused to
downfield?
throw it. That's the problem. He just refuses to throw the deep.
I don't know if that's the, but I don't know if that's the issue. I don't know if it's him though. Because sometimes it's not just it's the guy. He's not trying to mess it up. You got to give him the fight.
I don't want a guy that's not trying to mess it up any longer because it's even Kansas City. Even Kansas City have one of the best tight ends, but they still have outside threats that make the offense like
you have to have it. You have to have that, bro. There's no way you're going to be a legitimate offense if you don't have somebody who's a threat to the secondary. No disrespect to Mike.
I don't think it was a guy he trusted out there really this season.
But that's a problem.
I mean,
look at the BC game or the Navy game.
But the Styles kid, I thought he was gonna, the development. I thought he was gonna develop a little bit more, but I guess it just wasn't. I mean, he still got. I mean, still is with sophomore year, so he still got a lot of time left. So I'm definitely not ruling him out. He still got a lot of talent, but I just thought the development was gonna be a little bit, more than just as far as.
I like 83.
No, so I think Jaden Thomas, he was a freshman, right? I think
it's second year guy.
Yeah, he was cold. He cold.
And I think it just goes back to what Marcus Freeman sees in this last game in the regular season and what, kind of how the season's been a little bit inconsistent, a little bit ups and downs with some great wins mixed with some really, really bad losses. But how would you cap the first season for Marcus Freeman, newly led Notre Dame football team?
I personally think he did a great job because you even think about how, I mean, not a great job, but you know what I'm saying?
I mean, is he on the hot seat already? Are they already looking at
No.
People forget.
Come on, man. You can't put him on the hot seat.
Coach Kelly is the winningest football coach in Notre Dame history, and he started out 1-3 when he first got the job.
Okay. There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like especially a big brand like Notre Dame and dealing with that at a head coaching position, that's new. Especially that, and that's something that no job can really prepare you for. So some people know how to weather the storm, some people don't, and some people got to learn. That's the point of the season. But I feel like going forward, our main focus going into next season is when we're supposed to take care of business. Do we take care of business? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and I think he'll have another year on his belt. To your point, first year, he's got a lot of things he's working out too, right? He's figuring out his leadership style. He's figuring out how to lead the guys that he has. He's figuring out how to lead his coaches, how to allow them to coach, how to have their own voices, where those voices come from. He's got to deal with the institution that is Notre Dame. And I'm not just talking about the college. I'm talking about Notre Dame, the community. There's a lot that comes with that. To be quite honest, Coach still needs to figure out who he can and can't trust too.
Yeah.
There's a lot that he's got to shoulder, man. So would I say he did a great job? I wouldn't call it great, but I would call it a really good job. Knowing that your quarterback situation, even with Buckner, was average at best, right? Yeah. I mean, if you could somehow marry the two of them together, okay, so maybe Drew Pine throws the ball a little bit better, but Buckner runs the rock like a running back. Yeah, he ran it like a running back, right? So if there was a way to marry those two quarterbacks, we would have had a decent quarterback to manage, like you guys said that we need. But Tyler's one-dimensional. He's a run guy, and if he can throw it, why didn't we let him when he was in there? So I think being shorthanded, not having that general, maybe the guys trust him because they have to. Maybe some guys don't trust him. You talked about him trusting receivers. I feel like that goes both ways. You know, like you got to trust the guy that's under center, that he's going to put you in the right situation, give you the type of ball that you need in the situation. I feel like, you know, it was one of those things where maybe the locker room might have been divided in the beginning. You know, some were with Tyler, some were with Drew. You never know. But like for everything that he didn't do, I thought Coach Freeman did a hell of a job, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially putting the recruiting classes together, which he's been able to do in an 8-4 season with a lot of expectation. I really believe that, you know, he wants to put everything that he touched outside that quarterback position off season took a step forward. And that's
100%.
something that the kids can buy into, especially managing with all this stuff with the transfer portal and the NIL. Do you think that's going to weigh on Marcus Freeman as he continues season after season with this NIL and how it works with Notre Dame? Because, you know, we don't typically give up the bag too often.
Listen, to get that guy, I think we're going to have to give it that bag to get that guy.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna tell you this. Like, here's my thing. Like, NIL, I think to a point is long overdue. However, what really freaks me out about it is how eerily quiet the NC2A has been throughout this entire process. They have said absolutely nothing in terms of regulation, in terms of cap. I mean, shoot, even in the league, there's a salary cap.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You're just gonna have to get a salary cap to all.
You know what I mean? Like there's no cap. So you know, these alumni at these other schools, man, are coming with the bag. They're like, yo, we need this cap. How much is it gonna cost? Oh, you need $250? Okay, here we go. Let's figure it out. That ain't happening in South Bend. We all know that. It's not happening. So I feel like there's got to be a way to navigate. I mean, even with the transfers, man, like we're only accepting grad transfers, right? Don't we just accept grad transfers?
Yeah, we never have any like regular transfers,
right? And we never even had we never accepted transfers when I was there. So
yeah, I still don't think they do. Yeah,
you got 1,500. You got 1,500 in just the FCS transfer portal.
Yes.
Then you got the regular one, and then you got the
you got JUCO,
the high school. Then you got high school, and then you got JUCO. So it's like,
right.
And it'd be some
now everybody's just jumping in there.
I'm gonna tell you right now, as a high school football coach here in Marietta, there's a lot of talent that comes out of here. Okay, a lot of kids that go to Mater Dei and Bosco, and Servite and those places. A lot of those kids come from this area. This, Temecula, Marietta, Menifee, this area, right? What this has done, this whole NIL thing has done, on top of COVID, which I hate even saying it, but it's true. These guys have so many years that are left and available. If I'm a college football coach, unless this dude is a 5-star dog ready to come in and start, I'm looking at the portal. Then I'm looking to JUCO, because JUCO has dudes have bounced back for whatever reason, guys that have been in programs, guys that are really hungry and trying to get out, So unless you're a dude that's like that quarterback from Los Al, what's his name?
Malachi Nelson,
man, look, dude is a boss.
Yeah.
And when Caleb Williams leaves after next year, because he's for sure out, this dude is going to step right into the shoes. Like, we need to have that type of like pipeline. And unfortunately, the university puts a lot of wrinkles in that program, man.
Yeah. No, the whole NIL thing like benefits a school like USC so much, because it's like
for sure.
What?
For sure.
We just give y'all anything y'all want for us to win. We don't care.
Like, right.
Do you guys feel like the fast food process though of getting transfers like in SC, like how Tennessee did, and Tennessee ended up falling apart towards the end? Even South Carolina themselves, bunch of transfers 1 year, guys. Had some early on success, but as the season went on, kind of fell apart. Texas A&M, all the money and time spent on those recruits, and look, terrible.
But they young though. A&M is young, bro.
Yeah. For a lot of schools, it's not going to work out, man. It's going to be just a lot of. It's going to be, it's at the end of the day, it's going to fall. It's going to end up being the same schools being, still being nice. It's going to still be Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia know how to do it though. They throw the bag around.
But Ohio State exactly. But it's just other schools going to be paying money to get up there, but they're not gonna have the coaching to really put it together. That's really what it's gonna come down to. Because especially with all these boys getting paid now, you gotta have coaching. The coaching is gonna be the main.
Out of JUCO.
Yeah.
To that point, I think you got to have a special kind of coach to take a dude that's been in one program with a specific culture for 4 years or 3 years or whatever it is, and then he's coming into another program where there's guys that have been there. He comes in and now he's the guy. You know what I mean? As a coach, what's your message there? These guys have been loyal. They've stayed with your program. Like, buddy, you're just not good enough. Here's a guy that we basically got him off the internet. So,
got him off the internet. Yeah, you damn near
it's business now. It's literally business now.
It's literally business.
I mean, it's basically it's business. NFL now, like your job get taken by another guy, like just like that. Another school. You're not even compete with your own school no more.
Yeah, it's dang near not even the tradition that kids go to some of these schools for. It turns into, like you said, a business decision. And for a guy like Marcus Freeman, being a young coach, being a guy that players want to play behind, what do you think is his strategy on handling not only the transfers, but the guys on his team that are developing each and every day that he's bringing in as recruits? Because you really want to be able to keep kids there. I think retention right now is terrible in the NCAA, and coaches are probably even worse now because they're lying their ass off to keep some of them kids there.
100%, man.
Yeah, 100%. I think Notre Dame has an authentic and like fully cultured brotherhood in that locker room. I don't really see. I mean, people probably have their differences on like the quarterback situation and all that, but like think about it. Everybody had their quarterback. Everybody had their thoughts about the quarterback situation when it was you and DK going at it, you know what I'm saying? But, we still stuck together as a locker room, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the familyness and the togetherness in Notre Dame, I really feel like that's always going to stay strong. So, like, that's one thing that I could say we had a completely different experience than a lot of other schools because, like, we didn't have guys coming in out like a revolving door. It was you just didn't work out or, because, like, think about it. CJ, me and your graduating class, we only had, like, 14 people that we like finished with.
Yeah.
But like, we was a really tight knit group, and like all the teams that we played on were all like we were all cohesive. We were all together. We always did everything together and all that. So like I really feel like the brotherhood is always going to be the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just more so how can we get the brotherhood to turn that next corner to where we can go on the national stage each and every week and dominate and do what we're supposed to do and be in talks for a national championship, because that's really the goal, is trying to get a national championship.
I agree with that. I think maybe it Malik, to your question, man, maybe it comes more true like free agency where you're looking for a specific guy. It's not a wholesale Lincoln Riley. Okay, this was my team a year ago. Scrap that team. I'm gonna buy this other team. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a situation where we're looking for a specific guy. Like we're looking for a guy. Okay, we need a guy in the slot that's going to take the top off of defense. Maybe we find a guy that's an FCS guy. Maybe we find a guy that's another place that can do that specific thing. Maybe we find another running back, or maybe we find another DB. That specifically can do what we need. I mean, that maybe we use that type of strategy, but I don't think we're ever going to be in a position, just as a university and as a program, to do the wholesale, we about to hit the market and just bring in 20 dudes. Like, it ain't gonna happen.
I can totally be on board with the FCS because it'd be some dogs that
it'd be some guys now.
For sure. Like even
especially some DBs and stuff like
DBs, defenders. Like bro, it was a dude that came out of Albany. He was the star D in that Florida State.
He
looked like Khalil Mack.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
Yes, bro.
And
they out there.
Tricky.
I think
it's some dudes in that FCS rank, man.
But you got to spend a lot of money on, I think, this offseason on a better recruiting office. You got to expand that office because now you're looking at guys almost like the league. Every Tuesday, you should be bringing some guys in. And be like, hey, you might have to come in. I mean, I just think we have to be that on top of it especially if we're wanting to compete with what Georgia's printing out over there every year. I mean, I can't even put us in a conversation with a team like that right now, just on the way they're doing it. But even speaking towards the bowl game, how big is this bowl game win for Marcus Freeman? They got us slotted playing maybe South Carolina or maybe a Mississippi State, two teams that, I don't think that are much better than us, but they definitely present a challenge, especially with that SEC front seven.
South Carolina would be a great matchup. I feel like South Carolina would be a good matchup because they got some athletes on that offense, and their defense is not what I feel like we should take care of their defense, but I feel like Spencer Rattler has come a long way since when he was at Oklahoma, going through that dry spell of not really doing well and all that. Because I really feel like his mental, to now going against Tennessee and who they just beat, Clemson at
Clemson, bro. Yeah.
And I feel like our defense could look forward to that challenge, and that can be the start, to really get that Caleb Williams
Marshall out the Stanford game out there.
Yeah.
But you know what? In those games, I'm sitting in the comfort of my own home watching those games. Every other guy that's making a play, the transfer from so-and-so, even Stanford is like, well, this is a transfer from everybody's got the transfer from this place and that place. And we're like, we got the same cats, bro.
And we got the grad transfer.
We got the grad transfer from Harvard.
Yeah, from Harvard. Yeah, I don't know.
That's right, because we can only do grad transfers from schools with equal value. So we can only get transfers from
Stanford, Northwestern, or Stanford, Harvard,
Ivy League.
Yeah, no transfer from Alabama coming over here, bro. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Man, do you think we need another Stephon Tuitt, Isaiah Fowlsky type of Nick Bosa shutdown? And because I think we do have a solid front seven, we got a lot of great role players, guys that can make plays, but do we need that Chase Young bona fide defense in under Marcus Freeman?
Yeah, we definitely need another guy.
Yeah,
definitely another guy over
that
there.
That defense prides itself on the pass rush.
Yeah,
that pass rush makes the world go round for that defense.
100%, bro. 100%. Malik, get a quarterback off his spots, make him uncomfortable. Give him some flybys and some looky-loos.
No, seriously, and I think Marcus Freeman is probably sit back a little upset that it didn't go quite as planned, but I think he has a clear mind of what he needs to accomplish in this offseason, and that starts with that quarterback position. And going into the offseason, I think he does need to reevaluate what the offense looks like, especially with Tommy Rees. How do you think that relationship melded well or didn't meld well with Tommy Rees and Marcus Freeman during the year? I felt like there was a lot of struggles in the beginning on an identity issue, but it seems to come kind of together towards the end.
Yeah, I feel like for the most part they figured it out because of that run that we had in the past few games. I feel like that was no fluke. I feel like that was starting to be the identity of Notre Dame. We are a ground and pounded team, but we'll make you focus on the run, but then we'll throw it over your head and we can actually make those passes. We can take those shots.
Yeah, I mean, I think we realized the strength of our offense and strength of our team was the O-line, and we had to just kind of lean on them. And then the running back, position, we had three guys who were versatile, different. They brought a kind of different style to the game, and it really helped, And so the pass game we really needed much, and we had Meyer, so it kind of got through the year, with with what we had. But obviously going forward, it's going to be. I mean, next year is definitely going to be something because we don't right now we have a pass game because Meyer was our pass game. So
yes, I'm saying, and I think it's so crazy though too.
Pass game.
How do you have a great offensive line, debatably a top 5 offensive line, but we're nowhere near the top 5 scoring offense in the country? I don't know how you can have a great offensive line and a non-top 5 scoring offense in the country.
Well, you gotta have playmakers. You gotta have playmakers.
But I think that's one thing I think though. I think they're figuring that out. And I also think we're starting to count more on Coach Heastan, for example. I feel like Coach I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Heastan has a much bigger voice within the offense than he did when he was winning his first stint.
100%, yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like they're figuring it out. and I'm confident that they're going to figure it out.
Yeah, and I mean, it's gonna start with the playmakers, man. The playmakers.
At this point, we have to, like, we've got talent. Like, I mean, I don't want it to seem like, you know, we're sitting here crying the blues. Like, we got horses in the stable, man.
Yeah.
You know, we just got to put them in the best possible situation. Like, you know, as a coordinator, you're looking to try to put your dudes in the best possible situation to make plays. Period. End of story. So if I'm looking at the chess pieces we have, if I'm saying, okay, the strength of my offense is my offensive line, my running game, and my tight end. I'm about to put together a plan that's going to highlight that, and we're going to figure out a way to run it down your throat. Whether we're in diamond, but I got all three backs in there, you know. Seriously, I'm saying we're in diamond. I put my two big tight ends out there. Now you got trouble on the outside. If I do try to throw a 50-50 ball, you got to try to get around and do that 6'6", 260. Good luck. Give me the first down or give me PI. So I feel like some of the creativity that we used to have under Coach Denbrock, especially, you know, in those, you know, 12, 13 personnel type things, instead of just adding another tight end to the end of the line of scrimmage, you know, I think moving those guys around a little bit, creating some matchup issues, maybe giving us some advantages in the numbers, you know, like we didn't see a lot of that. You know, Lincoln Riley's first drive, man, this dude came out reverse,
all
RPR,
type of stuff.
RPO. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I was on a group chat with some of the guys. I was like, yo, do you see this man's call sheet? Like, his first drive was nails. And he set the tone. They played with a sense of urgency. They didn't play with panic. They played with a sense of urgency. And I haven't seen that in our offense. We haven't been urgent. Not panic, but we haven't been urgent. And I think that would help.
And that's the question too. How do you get back to dominating at home? I mean, I think we saw the very little glimpse of what a dominating football team at home could look like versus Clemson, a number 4 team in the nation. But how can we do that every week at Notre Dame Stadium? I mean, even the fans was different. I was like, did we replace the fans with somebody else? They was out there yelling and screaming like they really wanted to be there.
Right. I feel like the stadium renovation helped that a lot too. You know, we got a jumbotron. Think about it, like, you know, all the suspense that we used to have when a play is under review and we ain't got nothing to see it.
Nothing.
We literally are just going straight off the ref's word at this point. So
we didn't have replay in my day. I'm old, so just whatever they said, we went with it.
Now, is that a head coach thing that you carry with yourself to be a dominating force at home, or is it just more like CJ said, you got to have all the playmakers. We got to get these 5 stars at receiver and at quarterback and at running back.
I think that goes to the work that we put in the winter, the work that we put in the spring. You know, think about it. Like that's when we put in those values of accountability, consistency. You know what I'm saying? Things that we need to be great and thrive in the best situations that, you know, when we're faced with adversity, how we're going to respond, you know, type ordeals. I feel like, you know, our seasons based off our records, you know what I'm saying? Like those times when we went to the Natty and, you know, we went to the Fiesta Bowl, we had probably the greatest spring. We had really good springs. We had really good winters. We really got after it. The competition was always there in every workout, you know what I'm saying? Rather than, you know, the other few years where, you know who's going to win each rep. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really no competition where you're like sitting there when we doing that, like that tire drill where we're fighting for the tire after those team workouts, you know who's going to win, rather than, you know, think about that time when Max and somebody went at it and they going all over the field.
Going all over the field, yeah. It'd be stuff like that.
You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like
home games, man. Like, the home games, I feel like it's a pride thing, and I feel like in our head, I feel like when we was there in our head, a home game was an automatic win. Like there was no, it wasn't even like it wasn't really like a competition. It was like, all right, we just can't fuck this up.
Right.
You know, no team, like the team ain't gonna be just coming here and beat us. Like we can't fuck it up. Or sorry, excuse my language, but exactly. But I feel like with the home games, like it's definitely a pride thing, and it comes from the head coach for sure. Like he got to make it like Jerron said, it starts in them like spring workouts and the winter workouts and stuff, because that's really where the head coach got to install that confidence.
And I think even beyond confidence, to that point, even beyond confidence, I think you have to have an attitude, man. Like
Yeah.
you're
That
not
attitude
gonna
gotta
come.
be
You're not
there.
gonna come up in here. You know, like I tell my players all the time. Like when you become a man, like you gonna let a dude just run up in your house and sit on your couch and take your TV, kiss your wife, smack her on the butt. Like nah,
No
like.
way.
Bruh, you're not doing that. This where we work. This
Yeah,
is South Bend,
exactly.
Indiana. This is our field, bro. What do you mean? You about to
Exactly.
take this L and get on the bus and go home? Like
Right.
that's the mentality. And I feel like there's a part of us that has losing has become okay and acceptable. You know what I
In a
mean?
big game.
They think
Like
it's part of the game.
yeah, man. Like, no, absolutely not. Like, there was never a thought in any of our minds when we played that we were going to lose the game. I don't care who we were playing. I don't care the environment. I don't care if it was at the big house. I don't care if it was East Lansing. I don't care if it was in Happy Valley. It don't matter. It doesn't matter who we playing in the bowl game. We were supposed to lose to Florida. We went out and smacked them. Like, bro, what do you mean? We're Notre Dame and y'all ain't.
Yeah.
And I think at some point that has to mean something to the players. Like the coach can say that until he's blue in the face, but like the players have to own that and they have to embrace that. And they have to be like, look, this is our crit. Like these are our fans. This is our, like, what do you mean? Bro, take this L and keep it pushing. Get up out of here with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. Especially, having that attitude that you're not just going to walk in here and do whatever you want.
Oh, man.
It generates from all aspects, especially when those players on the football team, and then how it resonates outside of that. And I think next year, with everything included, Marcus Freeman, if anything, is not going to let the home losses play a part at all. He's going to be, if anything, we're going to be dominant back at home and starting fast. Is something I noticed that we made a huge change of from years before, is that we're going out there at least with the intensity that we've been prepared and itching to get to this game each week, something Marcus Freeman has really installed. But from an identity standpoint, do you think that Notre Dame is in a right place to reach that championship tier moving forward under Marcus Freeman?
Yeah, identity is definitely there for sure. As far as I think the what he's the kind of tone he's set for the players is there. The culture is there. The culture is set. Obviously we just gotta get the guys in the building to do it, and so the guys are in certain spots to do it. But man, the culture is definitely there, and I'm excited for the next season for sure.
100%. We're gonna be young though, I think, man, in spots. I think, like Coach Holtz used to always say, a dog's gonna bite you when he's a puppy. You're gonna wake up as a full-grown dog and just like, all right, I'm gonna bite you now. Like he's gonna bite you when you're a puppy. He might not hurt, but he's gonna try to bite you. So, we may need to be a little younger. Like, we had redshirt freshman starting at corner for us. Like, came in, did a heck of a job, man. He did work, right? So, we might have to. Here's what's crazy: the days of development.
You gotta damn near be ready to play, huh?
Bro, you gotta come in ready, man. You gotta come in ready. Like, and if you're trying to win now and change a program, like, but you want to develop guys, but some of these guys got to be ready when they step in the door. We need those
at key positions. You gotta be ready at quarterback, gotta be ready at DN, gotta be ready at receiver as a big time playmaker. I think if you get those three positions, everybody else can kind of develop around it.
Right.
Especially with the right coaching that I think we are putting together. But the one thing I really like about Marcus Freeman that he's doing, which gets me more engaged, and I'm sure you guys do, is bringing older players back. Letting guys get on the field, letting guys feel like they actually played there. They can make a call or something. Man. I think that was pretty impressive in his first year of making a change.
Yeah, we appreciated that, man. Like to be able to have that camaraderie. We talked about brotherhood before. Like be able to talk with your boys and be in the stadium, not have to worry about messing up because you're not playing, but like just to be there, to be in the environment and just feel the energy and to be a part of that. That was huge, man, because that wasn't something that was a thing until Coach Freeman. So
Hell no.
We need that. We need more of that.
Now we're about to let you guys go. I mean, first of all, thank you guys again for jumping on the Lucky Lefty podcast. Where we spin it different. This is the Players Lounge every Monday. We bring it to you that raw, uncut, give your true feelings out. You know, we still watch from afar. We care about the program from afar, cheering on Marcus Freeman. But the last question I gotta ask you guys: players to watch looking forward for next year, young guys, older guys. Who you watching and who they should be looking for next year?
Ben Morrison. Ben Morrison.
Facts. Facts.
No,
This
I'm
dude's about to be
Ben
an All-American,
Morrison is
bro.
83, bro.
Oh, yeah.
83
Yeah,
is a monster, and that O-line is young too. People forget that. They play like grown men, but they're young.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's saying is reinventing that room that he used to have back in 2014, 15, 13.
Yeah.
Dropping Hall of Famers
that easily.
All the guys that are dominating in the league right now.
Yes.
The dudes are doing work. I'll tell you what, I think our offensive line, and I was talking to Aaron Taylor a couple of weeks ago. We're on a flight coming back from Vegas. He just got done doing the Boise State Nevada game. We were talking about O-line play, and he said he really liked what we were doing up front offensively. I wouldn't be surprised next year if we're not a semifinalist or a finalist for the Joe Moore Award up front, which in my opinion, that's where it belongs anyway.
Yeah,
having played for Coach Moore, he used to always say there's nothing like moving a man from one place to another against his will.
Exactly.
And we enjoyed the hell out of that. Guys talk during the game. You got me that time. Hold on, let me get the play. I'll be right back, bro. Hold on, let me grab the play real quick.
Yeah, that's right.
We coming back to do it again.
Exactly.
For sure, Morris is going to be a beast. Offensive line for sure is going to be a beast. But Malik, as well as anybody, man, that X factor is that QB1, man.
Yeah, I need somebody to fill that role and be a threat. Make it be somewhere I can put my money in Vegas.
Right.
I'll be so nervous to bet on Notre Dame, man, just because it's like, do they got a better quarterback than us? Oh shit, we have to find out.
I ain't put my money on Notre Dame in years, man.
I think that's the narrative that needs to change. Like, even older players and players that have played at Notre Dame will not put money on ND going into any big game. We need to change that narrative.
I just lost my parlay because of that blew my parlay up. I probably only missed. I put like a 20-legger, and I probably only missed 4. And Notre Dame was one of them.
Notre Dame was one of them. And we love our team. We cheer every time. We'll cheer. We want us to win, but man, when it comes to putting that bread down, I do not do.
Yeah, that's a different story, dog.
Hopefully Marcus Freeman can change that around and spin it different because all the support that we do give to the team and what we're learning from Marcus Freeman and how he's giving it up. I just think it's headed in the direction that we all wish we could have played under. In a sense, when you wish you would have played under a coach, and you know things are going in the right direction, especially with those young guys taking advantage of it. But man, great players lounge for the first Monday in a long time. Anything you guys want to leave off these Notre Dame fans with, especially LL Nation who tune in each and every day?
I would say this, man, don't panic. Don't panic. We're in capable hands. We're young in a lot of spots. Coach Freeman sees the same thing that we see. And he knows what he needs to do. The man has got the job for a reason. Let's get behind him. Like, there's no need to panic. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
Yeah, get that brother's time, man. We done gave Kelly 10 years. Get that brother's 15.
Give the man put some respect on that man's name. Let's go.
I definitely think we good, man. I mean, I know we talked about it earlier in the year. Like, I think me and Malik even talked about. I think you said you gave him 7 wins. So for him to get 8 this year, I think he did a pretty good job. With the quarterback position being what it was. So going forward to next year, we just look to improve on that. That's all we can ask for real.
For sure,
we can ask for.
Right on.
Well, got to hear first from the Players Lounge, man. The Players Only Club where we really believe in Marcus Freeman, man. We even though it's 8-4 season, it can't get worse. We only going straight to the top, turning this program to a championship tier where we're gonna be something to reckon with next year. I appreciate each of you guys, Jerron, Oscar, my guy CJ. Y'all coming to us live from all over the country too, by the way, because we're global. We ain't all living down the street. We got Cali, we got Virginia, we got Texas, we got everything. New York, we bring it in to you live on the Players Lounge. Thanks again, guys. It's the
Yes,
Lucky
sir.
Lefty podcast. How we get down.
Yes, sir.
All right, family.
Oh,
Peace.
Apple,
All right, y'all, boys.
Spotify, all of that. Thank you guys so much, man. Oscar, we'll catch up with you again, man. Thanks
No
so
doubt,
much,
brother.
brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Always.